I've heard people say that your intuition always knows before your heart does, but I never believed it until that night. My name's Emily, I'm 24, and I've been dating my boyfriend, Jake, for almost 2 years. We met at a mutual friend's birthday party where he spilled beer on my dress, and somehow that messy, awkward moment turned into something real. At least I thought it did. Jake was one of those charming, golden retriever energy guys. He played guitar, cooked breakfast on Sundays, sent me good morning texts, and made playlists for every part of our relationship. The first one he ever made was called Songs for My Girl, and I remember listening to it on repeat, smiling like an idiot every time I heard our song, Electric Love by Borns. So when I tell you that Spotify became kind of sentimental for us, I mean it. We had a shared playlist called Late Night Drives that we both added songs to. It was our thing. Or, at least, I thought it was. That night started like any other Friday. Jake told me he had to work late because one of his coworkers called in sick. I didn't think twice about it because that was normal for him. He worked as an event coordinator at this fancy downtown hotel, so his schedule was always a little unpredictable. I remember texting him around 6:30, saying something like, "Don't work too hard, red heart," and he replied with, "You know me," grinning face with sweat, "just trying to make rent, lol." I went on with my evening, put on some comfy clothes, and decided to clean my apartment. I usually played our shared Spotify playlist while doing chores, but that night, I just put on shuffle. Somewhere around 8 p.m., I noticed the little green bar at the bottom of my phone, the one that tells you what device your Spotify is connected to. Normally, it would say Emily's iPhone. But this time, it said listening on Jake's iPhone. I froze. It wasn't unusual for him to use my account. We shared it sometimes, especially when one of us forgot to log out. But what caught my eye wasn't that he was using it, it was what he was playing. He was listening to our Late Night Drives playlist. The same one filled with songs that were, like, little inside jokes between us. Songs that only made sense in our world. I don't know why, but I clicked on the playlist, just to see which song was playing. It was Electric Love. Our song. I remember smiling at first, thinking maybe he was just thinking of me while he worked. Maybe he missed me. But then I noticed something strange. The song had been skipped halfway through. Then another song started, Ocean Eyes by Billie Eilish. Then skipped. Then Peach by Kevin Abstract. Then skipped again. That wasn't like Jake. He always listened all the way through. It almost felt like someone was trying to find a specific mood. And that's when it hit me, the songs being skipped were the slow, emotional ones. The ones he used to say made him think too much. I remember laughing nervously, shaking my head, trying to convince myself I was overthinking. But then I saw something that made my stomach twist. Spotify shows a little blue speaker icon next to the song currently playing, and under it, it said, listening on Jake's iPhone, nearby device. That meant he was less than a few miles away. And the track playing now? I Wanna Be Yours by Arctic Monkeys. Romantic. Sultry. Way too specific. I tried calling him, but it went straight to voicemail. No signal. I texted him, nothing. I even checked his Snapchat location, but of course, he had turned it off. My brain was spinning. I kept watching as the songs kept changing, each one more romantic than the last. Adore You. After Dark. Take My Breath. I could practically imagine the scene. Candles, soft music, dim lights. I told myself maybe he was setting up a surprise for me, that maybe he wanted to recreate one of our dates. I even started getting excited. But the longer I watched, the more wrong it felt. Because around 9 p.m., the music stopped for a few minutes. Then started again, same playlist, but now it was Your Best American Girl. And then Sweater Weather. That was our date night playlist. The one we used for cooking together. Every song, every rhythm was a piece of us. And someone else was listening to it now. I don't remember making the decision to leave my apartment. One minute I was sitting on my couch, and the next I was in my car, driving toward the downtown hotel where he worked. I didn't even have a plan, just this gnawing feeling in my gut that something was horribly wrong. The streets were quiet, the kind of eerie calm that makes your heartbeat sound louder in your ears. I parked a block away and texted him again, "Hey, are you done working? I'm nearby." No response. I walked toward the hotel, trying to steady my breathing. The lobby lights reflected off the glass doors, and I could see the night manager at the front desk. I waved awkwardly, pretending I was there to meet someone. "Hey," I said, forcing a smile. "Is Jake still around?" He said he was working late. The manager frowned. "Jake? He left a couple hours ago." My heart dropped. Oh, right. Yeah, I must have gotten the time mixed up. I turned before she could ask anything else. Outside, the air felt heavy. My phone buzzed, Spotify again. The little green bar flashed back to life. Listening on Jake's iPhone. This time, the song was Do I Wanna Know? My hands started shaking. I clicked the song history. It showed the last 5 tracks played, all romantic, all ours. I zoomed in on the map. The device was still nearby. Not downtown. Somewhere around Riverway Park, a secluded spot near the riverbank. I knew that place. We'd had picnics there. He'd kissed me there for the first time. Without thinking, I got back in my car and drove. I told myself I was crazy, that I'd find him sitting alone, maybe planning something sweet. But deep down, I already knew. The playlist wasn't for me anymore. By the time I got to Riverway Park, my heart was pounding so loud it drowned out everything else. The place looked different at night, empty picnic tables, the faint hum of the river, and the sound of crickets somewhere in the dark. I parked near the old oak tree where Jake and I used to sit and talk about our future, and for a second, I almost turned back. I didn't want to be the crazy girlfriend who drives across town because of a Spotify notification. But that gut feeling, the same one that made my hands shake and my throat tighten, kept pushing me forward. I opened Spotify again. The music was still playing. I Wanna Be Yours. My stomach twisted. I clicked on the little green device icon. It still said listening on Jake's iPhone, nearby device. He was close. Very close. I turned off my car, the headlights, everything. Just silence and the soft glow of my screen. I walked down the path toward the benches by the river, where couples usually sat. I remember my hands being ice cold even though the air was warm. I could smell the water, the wet earth, and something faintly floral, like perfume. That wasn't mine. My chest felt tight, and before I even saw them, I heard laughter. Soft, breathy, familiar. Jake's voice. My body froze. I peeked from behind one of the trees, and there he was, sitting on the picnic blanket we always used. But he wasn't alone. Next to him was a girl with long dark hair, wearing one of his hoodies. She was leaning against him, her head on his shoulder. They were sharing a bottle of wine. My breath caught in my throat so hard it hurt. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't even move. My first instinct was denial. Maybe she was a friend. Maybe he was comforting her. But then he reached over and brushed her hair behind her ear, the same way he used to do with me. And then he kissed her. My vision blurred. I felt something between rage and heartbreak clawing at my chest, trying to get out. I wanted to run at them, to throw the playlist in his face, to make him see how cruel this was, but I just stood there, frozen. Then my phone buzzed again. The sound cut through the silence like a gunshot. Jake turned his head instantly. He squinted, looking around. I ducked behind the tree, my heart hammering so fast I thought I'd pass out. "Emily?" I heard him call out. He sounded nervous, caught. The girl looked up at him, confused. "Who's Emily?" she asked, her voice distant but sharp. He hesitated for a split second, then said, "Just a coworker." I felt like I'd been stabbed. That word, a coworker. 2 years together, and that's what I was now? I waited until I heard them laugh again, but it sounded forced this time, brittle. I couldn't breathe. My body felt heavy, my face burning from tears. I didn't even realize I was crying. I quietly backed away, my footsteps muffled by the dirt path. Somehow, I made it back to my car without collapsing. I sat in the driver's seat, staring at nothing. I don't remember how long I stayed there, maybe minutes, maybe hours. My phone was still open on Spotify. The song switched again, "Jealous" by Labyrinth. I almost laughed at the irony. That's when an idea hit me. Maybe it was petty. Maybe it was insane. But at that moment, I needed him to feel what I felt. So I disconnected him from my Spotify. Just one click, and the music on his end stopped. Then I connected to my own phone and started playing something else, "Before He Cheats" by Carrie Underwood. Loud. I pictured his confused face, the panic setting in when he realized I'd been watching. And before I could stop myself, I sent him a message. "Nice playlist for a date. Hope she liked the songs I picked." The 3 little dots appeared immediately. He was typing, then stopped, then typing again. Finally, one message came through, "Emily, it's not what it looks like. Please just let me explain." I didn't reply. I threw my phone on the passenger seat and started the car. But I didn't drive home. Instead, I parked by the overlook a few miles away, where you could see the whole city. That's when the tears came, loud, ugly, unstoppable. My whole body was shaking. I kept replaying every moment in my head, every "I love you," every inside joke, every playlist he made me. Were they all lies? My phone buzzed again. Dozens of messages now. "Please answer me. It wasn't like that. She's just a friend. I love you." Each one made me angrier. I finally texted back, "Friends don't kiss like that, Jake. And they don't use our playlist." Then I blocked his number. The next morning, I woke up to a dozen missed calls, not just from him but from friends we both knew. Apparently, Jake was telling people I showed up uninvited and made a scene. I hadn't even said a word to him. The lies made my blood boil. But what really broke me was when one of our mutual friends, Megan, sent me a photo. Jake had posted a picture on his Instagram story. It was him and that girl, sitting by the river, smiling. The caption read, "Sometimes the right person comes at the wrong time." And in the background, you could see the Bluetooth icon glowing on his phone screen. He hadn't even bothered to hide it. I spent the next few days numb. I deleted the playlist, deleted the photos, deleted him. But no matter how much I tried, I couldn't get rid of that image, the one of them sitting under the stars, using something we made to start something new. But here's where things got weird. A week later, Spotify sent me one of those year-in-review notifications. You know, the ones that show your most played songs. I didn't even want to look, but curiosity got the best of me. My top song? Electric Love. Except the stats showed it had been played 43 times after I deleted the playlist. I frowned. That wasn't possible. I checked my linked devices again. Emily's iPhone. Desktop. And then Jake's iPhone. Still there. Still connected. I hadn't even noticed that I'd forgotten to revoke his access. But the play history showed something I didn't expect. Someone had made a new playlist using my account. It was called "I'm Sorry." And every song on it was about guilt, regret, and loss. Please don't go. Apologize. Let her go. I didn't know what to think. Was he trying to send me a message? Was this some twisted apology? Or was it her? I clicked play just once. And as the music started, I realized something that made my blood run cold. The playlist was still active. Someone was listening right now. I stared at the glowing screen in disbelief. Listening now, the message said under the playlist name. Someone was playing my Spotify again. I clicked the little green icon. Listening on Jake's iPhone. My stomach dropped. He was still connected. I had deleted the playlist, blocked him, even changed my password, but somehow, my account was still linked to his phone. I didn't understand how, but seeing it there made my heart race. A part of me wanted to just log out completely and never look again, but curiosity, painful, burning curiosity, kept me from doing it. I clicked on the playlist. I'm sorry. It was about 20 songs long, all added within the last few days. The first one playing was Let Her Go by Passenger. The next few tracks were Back to December, Happier, and When I Was Your Man. It was all heartbreak. Every lyric, every note felt like a confession. I didn't know if it was his way of apologizing or if it was some pathetic attempt to get me to listen. I should have turned it off right then, but instead, I turned the volume up and just sat there in silence, letting it play. Around halfway through, a song started that didn't fit with the others. It wasn't romantic or sad, it was a soft instrumental, no lyrics, just piano. And in the playlist, next to it, I noticed a weird symbol, a little voice note icon. Spotify doesn't normally do that. My fingers trembled as I tapped it. The song started, and then after a few seconds, a voice broke through the quiet music. Jake's voice. He was whispering. Emily. I know you'll probably never listen to this, but if you do, I'm sorry. I messed up. You were right. It wasn't just a mistake, it was me being selfish. I thought I could move on, but I can't. I keep seeing your name everywhere. Even here. I just wanted to say that I never stopped loving you. I don't know if that means anything now. My throat went dry. The message was raw, desperate, but also haunting. And then I realized something else, he'd recorded this message recently. Like, within the past few days. I checked the timestamp, uploaded 2 nights ago. Which meant that while I was sitting at home trying to forget him, he was somewhere, logging back into my account, adding these songs, and leaving me a message I never asked for. I felt sick. I wanted to be done with him. I opened settings to revoke all access, but when I clicked devices, something strange happened. There was another device listed. Jake's iPhone, sure, but under it, a new one, Echo Spot, Kitchen. That wasn't mine. It wasn't his either. Jake lived in a 1-bedroom apartment, he didn't even own an Alexa. I felt this weird chill go through me. Had someone else been using my account too? I clicked to see the location. It said active near North Hill. My hands froze. North Hill was where his new girlfriend lived, the one from the park. Her name was Vanessa. I remembered because she'd commented on his post after the picnic photo, leaving a heart emoji. That meant she had access. I didn't even know how that was possible, but there it was, proof that my playlist, my memories, were now running on her speakers. I don't know why I did it, but I decided to message her. I found her Instagram, it wasn't hard, her profile was public and obnoxiously curated with filters and flower emojis. I stared at her pictures for a long time before typing, "Hey Vanessa, it's Emily. I think there's been some kind of mix-up with Spotify. Can you check if you're still connected to Jake's account?" She saw it within seconds. Then, surprisingly, she replied, "Oh hey. Yeah, weird. It's been playing random stuff lately." Why? My pulse quickened. Because I think it's connected to my account. The one Jake used to use. A pause. Then she sent back, "Wait. You're that Emily?" My stomach dropped. The way she wrote it made it sound like my name was some kind of ghost story. I typed, "What do you mean?" She didn't answer right away. Then, "He told me you were obsessed." That you were stalking him. That you used to track him with Spotify. I didn't believe it until now. My blood ran cold. He'd told her everything, but twisted it. He'd made me sound like the villain. He's lying, I typed, my hands shaking so hard I could barely hit the keys. Check the playlists. He's the one adding songs. There was another pause. Then, I can't. He deleted the app from his phone. But, that's weird because it's still playing on the Echo. I thought it was just a glitch. I stared at her message, rereading it. Still playing. Meaning someone, or something, was controlling the account right then. What song? I asked. She replied, I Wanna Be Yours. My heart sank. The same song from that night. I didn't even know what to say. Then she added, wait. It just changed. I held my breath. To what? Electric Love. My whole body went numb. That was our song. I felt like the air had been sucked out of the room. I quickly logged into Spotify again. The green bar appeared. Listening on Echo Spot, Kitchen. I clicked the now playing section. Electric Love. The timestamp showed it started playing exactly when Vanessa had messaged me. I sat there staring at it, every muscle in my body tense. Someone was playing our song in her house. Either Jake was there, or something was seriously wrong. Then, a few seconds later, the song paused. Then skipped. Then paused again. I knew that rhythm. That pattern. It was the same way Jake used to flip through songs when he was nervous. I messaged Vanessa again, is Jake there? No response. Vanessa? Nothing. I waited. 10 seconds. 20. A full minute. Finally, her typing bubble appeared. Then disappeared. Then appeared again. Then, one short message, he's not here. But someone's in my house. My heart stopped. I typed, call 911. Now. But before I could even send it, the Spotify app on my phone went dark. Disconnected. All devices logged out. I stared at the blank screen, unable to move. For a full minute, I just sat there staring at my phone, paralyzed. The Spotify app had shut down completely, every connected device gone, like someone had hit a master reset. My hands were trembling so hard I could barely hold the phone. I reopened the app, he logged out. Tried again, incorrect password. Someone had changed it. I knew then that whatever was happening wasn't just digital anymore. Jake, or whoever was using his account, had access to my login. And Vanessa's last message, someone's in my house, echoed in my head like a siren. I immediately tried calling her. It rang once, then went to voicemail. I called again. Straight to voicemail. My mind was spinning, trying to rationalize what was going on. Maybe she panicked and left the house. Maybe it was a false alarm. But what if it wasn't? I opened Instagram and checked her profile. Still active. Her most recent story had been posted just an hour ago, her cat sitting on the kitchen counter. I tapped it, and my stomach twisted when I realized the song playing over the story was Electric Love. I checked the timestamp. Posted 37 minutes ago. That was after she said someone was in her house. My brain refused to connect the dots. My first thought was to call the police, but what was I even going to say? Hi, someone might be in my ex's new girlfriend's house because a Spotify playlist is acting weird? They'd think I was insane. Still, I couldn't just sit there. I needed to know she was okay. I didn't know her exact address, but I knew the general area. North Hill wasn't big. I'd been there once when Jake took me on a drive to show me the view. It was ironic now, thinking about that night, how close he'd already been to replacing me. I grabbed my keys and drove, ignoring the shaking in my hands. The streets were almost empty, The clock on my dash said 12:47 a.m. My headlights cut through the fog as I turned into her neighborhood, quiet, suburban, too perfect. Every house looked the same, but I spotted her white Jeep parked in a driveway halfway down the block. My chest tightened. I pulled over and killed the engine, scanning the street. No movement. No lights. Just silence. I texted her again, "Are you okay? Please answer." Nothing. I hesitated before stepping out of the car. The air felt heavy, thick, like it was holding its breath. I walked up the sidewalk toward her house, my heart pounding in my throat. Through the front window, I could see faint light flickering from what looked like a kitchen Alexa screen. It was glowing pale blue, the Spotify logo pulsing. I felt a chill run down my spine. Someone had reconnected. I slowly approached the front porch and listened. Nothing. I knocked softly. "Vanessa?" No answer. I knocked again, louder this time. Still nothing. Against every rational thought I had, I turned the doorknob. It was unlocked. My body screamed at me to stop, but something stronger pulled me forward, the need to know the truth. The house was dark except for that faint blue light coming from the kitchen. "Vanessa?" I whispered again, stepping inside. The place smelled like vanilla candles and something metallic, faint but sharp. I took a few steps closer. The music started again. My heart nearly stopped. "I wanna be yours." The sound was soft, almost muffled, coming from the Alexa on the counter. I froze. My phone buzzed in my pocket, and I almost jumped out of my skin. Unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answered. "Hello?" Silence. Then breathing. Heavy, unsteady breathing. "Vanessa?" I whispered. Nothing. Then, very quietly, a voice I knew too well. "Jake." "Emily, you shouldn't be here." My blood turned to ice. "Where is she?" I asked, my voice breaking. Silence. Then a low chuckle. "You still think this is about her?" I backed away slowly, my pulse roaring in my ears. "Jake, what did you do?" He exhaled sharply. "You never let things go, do you? Always tracking, always listening, always watching. You couldn't just move on." "You cheated on me," I snapped, trying to keep my voice steady. "You lied. You used our playlist for your date." "It wasn't cheating," he said quietly. "It was honesty. I just wanted to feel something new." I felt my stomach twist in disgust. "So you used me, and then her?" I demanded. He sighed. "I didn't mean for it to happen like this." My throat went dry. "What does that mean?" Silence. Then a sound, a faint creak, like a floorboard behind me. I spun around, heart hammering. The house was still dark, but I could swear I saw movement near the hallway. I pressed the phone harder against my ear. "Jake, where are you?" He didn't answer. Then, suddenly, the Alexa device spoke in its mechanical voice, now playing Electric Love. The music blasted through the kitchen speakers, so loud I could barely hear my own thoughts. I dropped the phone, clamping my hands over my ears. The sound echoed through the house, drowning everything else. Then I saw it, a shadow moving down the hallway. I bolted for the door, adrenaline flooding every vein. But before I could reach it, something grabbed my wrist. I screamed, twisting free and stumbling backward. The shadow stepped into the light, and my heart nearly exploded in my chest. It wasn't Jake. It was a man I didn't recognize, tall, scruffy, wearing a hoodie. His eyes were wide, panicked. "Who are you?" I choked out. He looked at me like I was the intruder. "Who are you?" he shot back. I heard someone screaming, "I live next door." "Are you okay?" My brain could barely process it. I stammered something about calling the police, but before I could finish, flashing red and blue lights cut across the windows. 2 patrol cars pulled up, their doors flying open. The neighbor raised his hands immediately. "Hey. I'm not, the officers rushed in, ordering him to step outside. I barely registered any of it. I kept looking around, scanning the room for any sign of Vanessa. "Ma'am, you need to come with us," one of the officers said firmly. "There's no one else here." I blinked at him, confused. "What do you mean?" "She texted me." "She said, we've already checked the house," he interrupted. "There's no one inside. And you shouldn't be here." I followed them outside, my head spinning. The whole street was awake now, neighbors peeking from their porches. One officer asked for my statement, but I could barely speak. All I managed to say was that I got a message from Vanessa saying someone was in her house. He frowned, typing something on his tablet. "Vanessa Rivera?" he asked. I nodded. He exchanged a quick look with his partner. "Ma'am. Vanessa Rivera moved out of this house 4 days ago." My knees nearly gave out. "That's not possible," I whispered. "She texted me tonight. From this address." The officer shook his head slowly. "The current tenant hasn't seen her. And according to our records, she hasn't been answering calls since Monday." I felt the world tilt. "What are you saying?" He lowered his voice. "Her parents filed a missing persons report 3 days ago. An officer named Daniels returned 10 minutes later. We traced the source of that upload," he said. "It came from a device registered to Jake Miller." My stomach turned. "So he's still in the area?" "We're working on it," he said, but his face said otherwise. They'd found something. I could tell. I waited in that sterile room for what felt like hours until another officer came in. "We located Jake's vehicle," she said quietly. "Abandoned near Riverway Park." My throat went dry. The same place I'd caught him with Vanessa. "Any sign of him?" I asked. She shook her head. "No. But we found his phone and something else." She hesitated, glancing at her clipboard. "We found a portable speaker. It was playing music when we got there." "What song?" I asked. "Electric Love." The sound of those 2 words made my entire body go cold. They released me later that night, saying they'd contact me if they found anything. I drove home in a daze, every shadow on the road looking like it might move. When I finally got inside, I locked every door, every window, but I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was still watching. I opened Spotify again out of habit, almost afraid to see what was there. The playlist I'm sorry was gone. Completely deleted. But right below it was something new. A private session labeled Late Night Drives, updated. My chest tightened. That was our playlist. The one we made together. I clicked it, and my blood froze. The songs were all the same, except one new track at the end. A recording titled For Emily. Against every instinct, I pressed play. The audio was rough, full of static. Then his voice came through, "Jake again." But softer this time. "You know what the worst part is," he whispered. "I really did love you. I thought music would keep us connected. I didn't realize how dangerous connection could be. I thought she'd understand too, but she didn't. None of you did." There was a pause. "By the time you hear this, I'll be gone. Maybe now you'll stop listening." A faint laugh. But I doubt it. Then, in the background, I heard it, the faint sound of rushing water. The river. My hands shook as I stopped the playback. I called the detective immediately, telling him about the new file. They took my statement again, this time more seriously. 2 days later, I got a call. They'd found him. Jake's body had been pulled from the river near the old picnic spot. He'd drowned, self-inflicted, they said. No foul play. They found his phone and earbuds still in his pocket, the same playlist looping quietly in the background. I'm sorry. I thought that was the end. I really did. But a week later, I woke up to a notification from Spotify. New follower, Jake Miller. I froze, staring at the screen. I'd deleted him. Blocked him. Reported the account. But there it was, his profile picture, his username. And below it, a message, shared a playlist with you, forever ours. I opened it with shaking hands. It was just one song. Electric Love. The play count read 1. I watched, terrified, as it changed to 2. Someone else was listening.